Hey, guys. As you know from my post, the third film in the Monsters, Inc. universe is in production. You need to know one thing about me. I love Monsters, Inc., the entire franchise. Although, when I hear about another sequel, I'm more worried about it being ruined. But back to the topic, the film will premiere in 2029-2030 and how is that in 3-4 years? Okay, for now, we only know that this film will be made and is probably in the earliest stages of production. My writing has evolved from fanfiction to this universe. By the way, you can write if you want a film about my old headcanon, because it's relatively extensive, but I'm digressing. Today, I'm going to present my fan script for the third film. The first thing is when the action takes place. In my opinion, it would be a bit silly to make the entire Monsters at Work series non-canonical, so I think the film could take place sometime after the end of the second season. I'm also sorry to mention this now, but the film will probably contain a lot of spoilers for the second season of Ma. So, after Randall escaped from prison, the investigation, and his voluntary surrender to Merc, and because Mike and Sully's friendship was about to turn 21, the two took a 2-week holiday. They spend their time happily in their flat, preparing for their big day. One day, tragedy strikes. Sully cannot find Mike anywhere. He knows that Randall is serving his sentence, and an adult monster could not simply disappear, even one who is that short. Sully and Celia set off on a search. They visit the prison to check whether Randall has escaped, but it turns out that he has been on his best behavior practically since he was sent back there. With the money he stole, the money Johnny's father left him for a rainy day, Randall asked a prisoner who was to be granted extended leave to kidnap Mike. Sully and Celia report Mike's abduction and are asking for an investigation into whether this is a conspiracy by Randall. Sully receives a letter in front of his and Mike's flat about his location. Merc receives information that Sully tried to kidnap Mike and later even kill him in order to take ownership of the company. I think that some of the evidence could be certain situations from Season 1, and also some from Season 2, of Ma, but also the fact that Sully knows this location. There would also be some fabricated evidence, such as private messages, etc. Meanwhile, Mike talks his kidnapper to death in order to find out who is responsible for all this. He secretly learns that the kidnapper received money in advance for the kidnapping, but among the unimportant information, he hears something about the Purple One. Later, Sully and the Merc agents manage to rescue Mike, and the authorities realize how unlikely it is that Sully staged the whole thing. Merc is receiving further information, this time suggesting that this is an even bigger conspiracy led by Johnny, because that is how he would destroy public trust in Monsters Inc., and he has already used unfair competitive practices. Mike and Sully return to the topic of what they intend to do on the anniversary of their friendship, and whether managing the company leaves them less time for each other. They decide that they will probably go to a club because if their friendship were a person, according to Mike, specifically a girl, she would already be able to go to a club. Meanwhile, the Merc board continues to investigate who is behind the kidnapping, and, in part, who the informant is. At one point, Mike and Sully are questioned as victims, and Mike says that the kidnapper told him that he was ordered to do it by someone he refers to as the Purple One. Time passes, and it is finally confirmed with evidence that Randall Boggs is behind it all. It is decided that the best punishment for him will be to sentence him to community service for the rest of his life. After shaking off all this, Mike and Sully fulfill their club plans, and at the end of the party, Celia was actually taken there, proposes to her, and she accepts. Later, when Mike and Sully return to work and Mike is planning the wedding, he asks Sully if he is jealous, but Sully replies that he is not in romantic relationships, coming out as ROAs. At the end, Papa Mike finishes telling his children the story that was supposed to be the origin of how Mr. Randall started doing community service. Although one child, there are 3 children in total, thought it was about how Dad got engaged to Mom, and another thought it was about why Uncle Sully is single, but Mike makes them realize that no story, no good story, has only one moral. That was a long talk. But I hope it was a good introduction to my love for Monsters Inc. Well, that's it. I won't take up any more of your time. Bye bye.